me this wonderful platform to share my thoughts on the personality development for higher educational teachers. I would like to start with a quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The development of a teacher's personality is a silent curriculum in every classroom. So, with this note, I would like to get into the history of the education system in India. When we are talking about the education system in India, looking into the way back Vedic period before 600 BC, education was imparted orally in Gurukulas, focusing on spiritual, moral, and intellectual development through scriptures. We all know that, like the Vedas and Upanishads. Buddha's period, if you see 600 BC to 1200 AD, marked by the rise of monasteries and universities like Nalanda and Takshila, emphasizing on logic, debate, and secular subjects alongside religious teachings. Medieval period, if you see from 1200 AD to 1800 AD, education became influenced by the Islamic traditions, right? With the emphasis on theology, law, Persian, and Arabic literature. Then came the British period, 1800 AD to 1947. Colonial education policy introduced Western curriculum and English medium, and formalized examinations were held, sidelining the indigenous systems of learning. Later, post-independence period, that is after 1947 till today, that is 2025, if you see, India developed a national education system emphasizing on equality, technical education, and giving more emphasis on research, and culminating in the transformative reforms are being done till today. So this is the latest updations which I wanted to share with you. And moving on, to the teachers as spiritual as well as intellectual guide, which was looked into the Vedic system of education. We all were, as teachers, were looked as a parent substitute or a facilitator of learning, where the students used to look upon as a moral educator, as a reformer, as an evaluator, as a character and personality builder, etc. But today, if you see, the scenario is changed, where I thought I would like to give you 12 takeaways. What is the actual scenario which is present till today? Okay, so with this, I would like to start again with another quote. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. So the 12 takeaways are encouraging the role models. That is the first takeaway. So here, if you look into the, encouraging the role models, how the teachers are going to build themselves as the role models for the others, or especially for the students, for all the stakeholders, how it can happen. So this we have to think through. So inspired, I also want to give you some few statistics here on various, newspaper, what is the current trend which is happening, as of now. So as per the, statistics, over 1.5 million ad hoc teachers, they face insecurity, adversely affecting the morale. Physical well-being is tied to the classroom engagement, and India need to refocus on the physical education. So if this is the point, then what is the need for, being or acting as the role models we need to think through. And then inspired teacher recognition fosters value orientation, mission-driven pedagogy, and positive teacher behavior skills instills values that outlast academic learning. These are all the, statistics or the current news which is given by the Times of India. And also I would like to share at this juncture, the NEP 2020 reforms encourage effective practice through teacher standards and training. And teachers must adjust globally through multidisciplinary and ethical framework. Instead of sticking on to the rote learning, teachers must shift to the application-based learning. Okay, with this thought, I would like to give you the character building. That is the second takeaway from this particular program. And setting the principles and discipline, building empathy, insisting on the respect of with others, volunteerism, what kind of actions that needs to speak, How do we avoid labels? How do we punish very lovingly? And how to be a better listener? And how to help the students and the other stakeholders? And how to build a positive attitude. So finally, to define personality as such, personality is a sum total of the physical, mental, and emotional attitudes and values and interest and the motivational factors as a sum. Moving on to the focus areas in management teaching, if you look into, this is also one of the statistics which I thought, or the current trend I must, share with you. So there is, from the Vedic leadership, we have moved on to something called as authentic leadership, where the management teachers must demonstrate integrity and consistency in values. And also moving on from the IQ to EQ, and the building on the mentoring ability, which is very important for the teachers, and design thinking and creativity, another great skill which the teachers must develop. And educators are encouraged to reflect on the curiosity and the design orientation in the classroom. And if you look into the interpersonal engagement, faculty are trained in order to manage diversity in student personalities, backgrounds, and learning styles. Current new insights I wanted to share with you. This is till July 14th. That is, till yesterday. If you look into the newspapers, the Andhra Pradesh State Teacher Development Policy 2025 has mandated quarterly personality development sessions across all higher educational institutions. And Kerala has introduced the curriculum integration model, where faculty undergo counseling, empathy training, and assertiveness development. So have you or have us or have we understood the importance of the personality development? Because Delhi University and IIM Bangalore have launched a micro-credentialed FDPs focusing on leadership through self-awareness and personality. According to the report by the Hindu, on July 13th, 2025, data-driven personality profiling tools are being piloted in 45 institutions to map the faculty behavior and leadership style for better academic mentoring. So with this, I just thought I will, have a very interactive session. So I'm just switching on the video in order to ensure that you can talk to or you can ask any doubts which is there then and there. So have we understood the, importance of roles, the many, functions and the roles that we play is, we play the role of a planner, we play the role of a risk taker, we play the role of a collaborator, we play the role of a role model and the learner and the designer and the adapter, visionary and the leader and the accessor, the cheerleader, the mirror and the problem poser, and also as the disciplinarian. Encouraging the role models. So looking into the first takeaway, self-reflection and journaling is the one. So here the objective is to increase the self-awareness and the personal growth. I request all the teachers to have a look at our own strengths and weaknesses and then understand what is really required. I just wanted to show you the strength and weaknesses, slides. So here is the strength and weaknesses. Understand your own strength and weaknesses, and then reflect upon what is really required. And journaling is one best way of writing down what I have done for the day and what is to be done. And if at all I have done, in what way I have done, and in what way it has to be, upgraded. So, or, with a character of resilience is really required to this. So that is one which I want you to reflect and think through, and then ask, your students to select certain matching words, where you can also do it as a own for the personality development, some verbs which will help you to understand and elaborate on how you can improve your own and you can improve on others' lives, including the good quality traits. So there is another focus which is there being done, which is on the personality development, that is on the soft skills. So inside the soft skills, if you see, there is something called as, actually this is the hardest skills, I should say. Based on the soft skills, for example, what are the other skills which is there present inside? The communication and the presentation skills, the teamwork, time management, problem solving, analytical reasoning, moral and ethical, very important, ethical awareness and reasoning, and critical and reflective thinking. These are some of the skills which we need to develop and think through. and social intelligence and emotional intelligence for that particular matter. So leadership as a definition described as a process of influence which one person can enlist the aid and support the others in the accomplishment of a common task. For example, the leaders must act as the teachers, and the teachers must act as the leaders. This is the greatest example which I can give is some understand the leader as a simply somebody of whom people follow or somebody who guides and direct others, while others define leadership as a organizing a group of people to achieve a common goal, which is very, very difficult, I should say, in practice. So the studies of leadership have produced theories involving trait leadership, situational leadership, and goal setting leadership, power and vision, values, charismatic leadership, etc. So which one is mine? We need to think through. And the second takeaway is the character building. How teachers become leaders. Yes, I really wanted to understand because there is a famous saying that character can be measured by what one would do if no one were looking. There are the individual pillars of the character building, including respect, care, responsibility, and fairness and trustworthiness. Yes, here I want you all to take down the rose cat created by the inkblot test in 1921. Roscak in inkblot test created a very mind-blowing introduction, I should say, for the developing the cognitive skills on how the critical role is being played by the teachers in terms of creating the mental abilities. So Roscak test, if you take, for example, exploration of the unconscious mind is also being taught here. The Roscak test taps into the subconscious mind by allowing the individuals to project their thoughts, your emotions, your underlying conflicts into an ambiguous stimuli. It provides a window into a person's inner emotional state through the thought processes, often revealing things that might not be consciously aware of, unwilling to share it very directly. Understanding the personality structure. This is particularly useful in assessing the personality traits such as introversion and extroversion and emotional stability for that particular matter. And also understanding the emotional and cognitive functioning by analyzing how someone interprets the involves, like psychologists can assess the process. So I just wanted you to, understand and tell me right now. I will give you a short phase or maybe 2 minutes. By looking at this diagram, what comes to your mind? I want you to, think through and share it with me. Yes, you can. The session is open for interaction. Can you just tell me what does this picture means to you? Can I ask Lata Jadhav, madam? Or Lakshmi Nachetan, ma'am? Ma'am, can you just tell me what does that picture talks about you, talks to you, or what does it mean to you?
Which picture, ma'am?
There is a picture which I have shown.
Ma'am, there isn't anything on the display. Okay, you're talking
Now
about.
can you see? Now can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you tell me what does the picture look like? Others also can interact.
May I?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
I saw the butterfly,
Yeah,
first
very
picture.
good. Yes, ma'am.
Bat also.
Yeah.
And second picture, one man whose hands on his
Hips.
hips,
Okay. Okay.
standing like this only.
Okay. Okay. So, ma'am, I would like to say something. Will it be, can I say in this open forum? Sujata, ma'am?
Okay, na ma'am.
Yeah. So actually, you have two contradictory roles inside you. Say, for example,
Okay.
any task which you take, you will have a set of principles and you would have done so much of hard work and you will try to, implement it. But with the time of implementation, what happens? Somebody says something what happens? You try to compromise with them. Okay?
Yeah, very true, very true.
Okay, so this is the one character building which I just wanted to say, which was introduced by Herman Roskak. This is
Yeah,
all I wanted to say. So the second picture indicates that you are very, very practical and a down to earth person. Okay, a man hands on the hip. Okay,
yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
just wanted to give you the meaning of what it is. So the third takeaway. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful interaction. The third
Okay,
takeaway.
welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, setting the principles and the discipline. As a teacher, it is our responsibility to set appropriate and practical rules for the classroom behavior. So to get a clear perception of the ground rules, which of the following is an effective strategy for getting the classroom, behavior rules? Anybody from the group? Which of the following is an effective strategy for setting classroom behavior rules? Implement strict and rigid rules without any flexibility. Ignore the students who exhibit unacceptable behavior and only focus on praising those who all behave very well. Clearly define the acceptable and unacceptable behavior and set a positive example and praise the good behavior. Or otherwise, how will you do? You will allow the students to set their own rules and encourage personal responsibility. What is that you will do? Anybody?
May I? This is Rashmi.
Kindly tell me your name, ma'am.
My name is Rashmi, ma'am.
Rashmi, very good. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Option C.
Great, excellent. So option C is what we need to do as teachers is clearly define the acceptable and unacceptable behavior, because we are supposed to accept a person as they are. That is the understanding. And set a positive example and praise the good behavior. So this is one. And when it looks into the fourth takeaway, I would like to say that we need to build empathy as teachers. So make a zero tolerance. It is not that easy for the character assaults, name calling, and bullying. There are our own colleagues who will try to pull us down. And that point of time, we can encourage a little bit of caring and empathetic attitudes, trying to understand, because they cannot be you. So what is the implication that we need to think through and understand, and ensure that every student is included in caring activities, and describe or enlist the random act of kindness. So the same thing we can adopt to students. So what is a key strategy for building empathy among students in the classroom? Enforcing strict rules and punishments for them for their disruptive behavior. For example, in one of the say event, say maybe a student is getting alcohol. It is a disruptive behavior. So you would punish them. What is the key strategy for building empathy? Empathy means putting yourself into other person's shoes and identifying what would be the problems, what would be the challenges which the other person is facing. Very importantly, we need to understand, especially in terms of influence. What would be the answer? Anybody?
B. Option
B,
B.
B.
ma'am.
Option B.
Excellent. Very good. Encourage the students to share their personal experiences and listen to the other's perspective. So we ask them why they have done, what is the reason. And then in the similar way, when our colleagues are making any mistake, we need to think through and listen to them and listen from their end, which is very, very essential, which most of the colleges, most of the institutions do not encourage, or I should say that is not happening. I don't know what is the real part of why things, especially when people are having a different attitude and a different mindset, why it is not happening, we need to think through. The fifth takeaway would be insist on respect for each other. So, an ideal class should be established on the foundations of respect and the pillars of politeness, which also is, coming down because of neuroticism, I should say, or because of narcissism, I should say, which is very high in today's generation. So we need to have more amount of tolerance. And the sixth takeaway is the volunteerism, that is highlighting the virtues and importance of volunteerism in your classroom, making the students to come forward, participate in different events, and asking them to participate. No, I have messaged. That will not work. So as mentors, we need to call them, identify their skills, and then, encourage their strengths, and then motivate them to participate in any event. So that, through that, what happens? The credit goes to you also as a mentor. So that should be the case when we are talking about volunteerism. Let them assist you in your lab, in your plantations, any good work that you do. Say, for example, reading something for the junior classes, helping a local fundraiser. For example, we are also collecting a lot of funds for the giving it to the poor. It is actually the students collected. They only take buy the materials and they go to the village and then they give it in their own hands to the localites or to the villages that needs real help. So collecting the donations, providing support to the students. So these are all some of the things which the students can do, where you would like to also volunteer yourself as a teacher along with the student to get the the things task can be done. So next is the generative AI, redefining the local landscape. I thought I would also give you what are the different tools that is associated with generative AI applications in education, because these are some of the technical skills which the teacher must be aware of. Okay, then here in the personalized learning materials, if you see Socratic by Google, which is an AI powered app which that helps the students with personalized explanations and solutions. Then we have the Khan's Academy, an AI tutor that provides personalized learning and support and practice problems. Here I'm not promoting anybody. I'm only trying to say we need to adapt ourselves to the latest tools and techniques. Okay, another method is called as adaptive learning system, where we have something called as a dream box. Adaptive math program that adjusts to the students' learning needs in real time has to be adopted. And a smart sparrow, adaptive learning platform that personalizes educational content based on the student performance needs to be done. Then we have this utilities of generative AI. What are the different utilities when it comes to artificial intelligence? See, we have, there are things that is being told. AI is going to replace the teachers, or maybe, it might come as a substitute, for teachers. No. See, what skills that we have, ultimately the decision making needs to be done by the teachers only. So what happens is the automated content creation can be done quickly to generate the lesson plan. So we have the quiz, we have the assignments, we have the patents, we have writing research articles, lot of things, and bringing in the consultancy work that needs to be incorporated along with the other academic tasks or other academic requirements. Yes, so this automated content creation quickly generates the lesson plans. Through ChatGPT also you can generate your lesson plan, but finally you have to understand that you should not do any cut copy paste work. You have to go through that, whether it is really created in such a way that it can be incorporated. Yes, it can be incorporated. And then we have something called as a personalized learning, creating the customized learning materials and activities that cater to the individual, faculty's strength and weaknesses. And real-time feedback must be given, and enhanced creativity this gives, and also the adaptive assessments. We have something called as formative assessments and summative assessments. So we have to design the assessments. For example, in my case, I would like to give role plays because I'm handling a subject called business process improvement. It is coming under one of the specialization of operations and logistics and supply chain management. So I, would like to give something in role play. I also ask them, suppose demand and supply is there. How would you do it? If the demand increases, supply increases, how it is, happening? So that is one way of looking or thinking through. Another way, I also handle a subject called as managing digital business. I have written a book on that. So in that, what happens, I have given a lot of practical application oriented, things in the e-commerce background. So in the e-commerce background, if the things are not moving as per the, requirements, say there is some kind of blockage or the stock is not there, inventory control is not properly done. How do you do? I ask the students what, why, when, where, a lot of questions to make them think through. And then in that role play, I make them understand how difficult it is for people to play the role and understand the business models and execute it in the classroom or execute it for your own business for that particular matter. So this is one, thing that I adopt. And moving on to the next takeaway, that is action speed. Say, for example, your goal is analyzing the annual growth in the toppers. So in the annual growth, what happens? What do? You collect the data, the students' scores and conduct the SWOT analysis and offer advanced learner programs. So they would have given you, ma'am, I wanted to do AI in this. Say, for example, HR analytics I wanted to do, financial analytics I wanted to do. So you collect the data and then develop it. So this is action speak. The teacher also can initiate. It is not only, it is lying, the responsibility is lying with the principals or the academic administrators. No, it is also lying with teachers like us. And say, for example, the goal will be targeting the weaker students. There is something called as providing remedial coaching. And also the personalized feedback should be given, and peer tutoring systems. The good student can be, or the best student who's very good in academics can be paired with the weaker student and asking them to sit for say half an hour to 1 hour and to understand what are the concepts and context, how the class is being conducted, and maybe a repetition of the same can be done for the weaker students. Understanding the need for gender neutral discourse, say using the inclusive language, gender balanced examples, and foster equal participation in the classroom roles can also be done. I also would like to give you here a very important point, aiming maximum participation by every student, which is not at all possible. So if that is not possible, what would you do? You can use group activities and you can rotate the leadership roles in your own class and implement the formative assessment. So this is, this assessment we have here something called as alternate assessments, where we try to give them like, quiz, something conducting like a poll, and then simulation of the classes. That is one. And as a teacher, we all must definitely include and improve on something, conducting the faculty development programs. I have seen in most of the colleges, faculty development programs, getting the participants is a very big challenge. So we have to think through which is the current topic. So if we are taking the current latest topic, then the participation of the faculty would increase, greater. And also LMS tools you can conduct on AI integration in pedagogy. And another goal, if it is of multicultural and multilingual education and exposure, because we are having the diverse backgrounds. Students are coming from various backgrounds. Incorporating regional text, foreign languages, case studies can be conducted from different cultures. You can tell, ma'am, my subject is maths. How can I have a case study? There is something called as a mathematical models for different business models that can be done. Okay, so here I thought I would give you a sample introduction to the supply and demand, where objective is the students will understand the basic principles of the supply and demand, and you can give them a case study. Okay, say you can give it on Volvo. Volvo's supply is very high, but the demand is very less. So that point of time, what they will do. So the basic principles of the supply and demand, including how they will interact, determining the market prices. 60 minutes happily you can divide. So the first 10 minutes, you will be giving an introduction of defining the supply and demand and all, explaining the law of supply and law of demand with simple, small examples or exercises. And then the core content would be the 30 minutes, where using the AI tool. Now with this, you have to simulate the market scenario where the students can adjust their supply and demand levels to see how the prices are affected. So market prices will be this much. What is the equilibrium price and how it is determined? Then another last 10 minutes you can have for the discussion, Q&A. And then another last 10 minutes you can have for the recap of the summary points. Likewise, you can have plenty of role plays. You can have it in the class. Sample quiz questions, multiple choice you can have. You can have true or false, or you can also have short answers. So all this, what I do is, I have a big bundle, and I wanted to show you. I have a big bundle of all these kind of materials in the box files. So 5 box files have completely of these particular nature of the activities which I would like to take, because sometimes you are swapping the classes. Sometimes you may take leave and then take extra hours. So during the extra hours, how you can manage the classes. So through this ways, you can manage the classes. The eighth takeaway would be avoiding the labels. Please, the person who's a little fat, no, you cannot call like that. So just as a character assault, labeling the children with habit or thing is the worst thing that can happen with them. So please avoid the labels. And which one of the following statements best reflects the idea of encouraging a positive development in children? Can you just tell me? Let us have an interactive session. Labeling the children with habit or trait is a useful way to guide their behavior, or comparing the children with one another can help them to improve their own skills, or allowing the children to express their own potential and personality fosters a meaningful behavior, or idealizing children who perform well is essential for the development. Which one is the best method? Can you tell me which statement is the best statement? Anybody? Which one of the following statements best reflects the idea of encouraging a positive development in children?
Option C, ma'am.
Action C.
Option.
Yes, amazing. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Allowing the children to express their own potential. So make the students talk, and then you will identify. Never ever neglect even one student telling that he or she is, dull-headed or, something like that. So personality fosters a meaningful behavior. And then the ninth takeaway would be punish lovingly. So if the person is not behaving up to the mark, students are not behaving up to the mark, if your colleagues are not behaving, punish them lovingly. In what way? So to handle your students properly, you need to punish them lovingly. How do you do? Make them on the point of stress to differentiate between the right and the wrong. So you can ask certain ethical questions. So if it was you, how would you handle it? If it was this, how do you handle it? On a ramp walk, I have seen people asking questions. If this particular title is given to you, how do you, what advantage will be there for you? I have seen people, I will change the country, I will, do this for my, fellow colleagues, I will do that. No, you don't give lot of promises here. Just understand how would you punish them lovingly. Explain them the reasons for not approving certain activities and convince them for their own benefit. Then the 10th takeaway would be listen. Have the habit of listening. Most of the time we do not have the habit of listening, which puts us into a deep concern, and they feel very hurt, the other persons especially. So listen to the individual concerns, both students as well as to your colleagues, and give them undivided attention. Let them open up to your trust as a golden rule of working wonders. So here the 11th takeaway would be help them. Help the teachers, your fellow colleagues, and also your students in order to understand that childhood is an age, lots of learning is being told, and in NEP 2020, if you look into, it is a lifelong learning for us. So in that particular case, what happens? The changes are very, very quick, and there is a lot to deal with us. So help each other, so I will be knowing this particular technique, especially in terms of doing the research articles, right? So I will not share it with others. No, doesn't make any this thing. See, by the end of the day, we have to publish together, all the 4 or 5 of us, correct? So help each other and guide each other through life's ups and downs, and successfully support the inner strength of each other. And finally, the last, takeaway is a positive attitude. Do not find fault with others, and do not keep telling I can do. I cannot do instead of telling I can do, and I chose to to do instead of I have to do. Don't tell I have to do this. Oh, array, today I have to finish this, instead of I just have chosen this to do. So utilize your generative AI model to develop a lesson plan that I have already initiated, and also to add upon certain things in the personality development is the dressing sense. Teachers should groom the students and should make them aware of how to, not only for the students, it's also for the teachers, because 50% is the grooming. Because when we are coming, see, right from recruitment till retirement, people will look at us, correct? Right from recruitment till retirement, people will look at us as an example, as a role model. A teacher means still that, the Ford manufacturing, the first car is different, and now what car we have is different in the manufacturing sector. But in the education sector, if you look into, the teacher is what we have looked into, and now we are looking into is also the same. So dressing sense is one which, we need to think through. And also the body language. Some of the teachers, when they are giving the interview, please see, they'll be shaking the body. You can see the, kind body language is very, very essential. Okay, it is just important as a verbal language, because 80% of your communication is gone through as a body language compared to the normal communication, verbal communication. Everything, including the way people talk, people sit and, eat, leaves an impression, leaves an impact. So kindly understand. So teachers should, correct the body language of the students as well as for their own selves if they are not doing it properly. And the next one is the opinionated thinking. We all judge each other, correct? Teachers, should inculcate. We should not opinionize, and we should inculcate and encourage the opinion formation in students, and that should be a positive opinion. And if it is a negative opinion, let us discuss and on various topics in the class, and then let us not encourage the negative opinion. That is more important. And let us have some certain fundamental techniques in handling the people. Don't criticize people or condemn or complain. Give honest and sincere application. Let it be a small one. Hey, that day you had done the task, in that conference. You had coordinated so well here. I really appreciate that. A lot of appreciations. Let it go. What is there? Nothing is there, right? So health wise, if you see, teachers today have a lot of health issues. So drink plenty of water and eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a beggar. It is already told. Eat more foods that grow on trees, and live with 3 E's: energy, enthusiasm, and empathy. And win people the way you are thinking. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you are wrong. And if you are wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. And begin in a friendly way. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. And be always a leader. How to change people without giving offense. Using encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. I don't want to give it as a lecture, but there are n number of things which I would like to say as a leader. Leader is not that easy. Whatever you do, you will be commented. Like, it is a relationship of in-laws or whatever. Whatever the leader does, the other person will take an opportunity to comment on, this should have been done like this. Like how we are watching the cricket match and then commenting, oh, this should have been batted like this. It should have been done like this. It's easy to comment, but it's very difficult to lead a team, I would say. And when we are worried about something, there are quite a few techniques which I thought I will share with you today, that those techniques are analyzing the worry. Yeah, the first one is the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. This technique, for example, it would track and evaluate the negative thoughts, which is, coming, and replace them with more balanced ones. You can also have one-to-one counseling in case if you're feeling depressed or feeling little, or if you feel the self-esteem has come down, you can talk to your, colleagues whom you trust, right? So these are some of the techniques. The other one is mindfulness and self-awareness, where I already told you in the beginning of the session, journaling, writing it down, which is very essential. And then after that, meditating, understanding like whatever, my day has gone very well today, or these are the points where I have done some mistake. So this, how do I rectify these mistakes is another one, thinking through. And the third technique would be root cause analysis. In the root cause analysis, you can ask 7 whys. Why did I do this? Why did I give this presentation? Why didn't I, take up, something else, some other topic? If that topic, it's given, why didn't I, do it in a better way? Or why didn't I do it in a, maybe I would have added some more points. So keep on asking why. It will repeatedly drill you down to the underlying cause of why it is worrying me so much, because there is no point in worrying at all. What is done, it is done. And then we have this fishbone diagram. You can possibly map out all the cause and effect diagram to identify why you are worrying on a particular issue. Say you wouldn't have taken a class properly, or say you wouldn't have given a presentation to your academic council properly. So all these things comes under picture. How the winners are different from the losers because of the hard work and consistency. So filling up the teaching vacancies, you can tell, madam, you are, talking all these things in air. So many things are there, but, I have my own, challenges. So what are the challenges? If you see, filling up the teaching vacancies, most of the universities do not do. Still, lot of things yet to be streamlined. Higher education, if you think through, major problems are there in higher education institutions. They are all, limited faculty, limited access, limited autonomy is there. Emphasizes on learning outcomes. How do I match the COs with the course outcomes with the POs? What is the implication of the Bloom's taxonomy? How do I implement it? I'm not able to understand this. People are publishing research articles. I'm not able to publish. See, it is a matter of, today chat GPT is there. A lot of, AI tools are there. If you just subscribe even to IoT Academy, very frequently they, give lot of sessions on AI tools. I have seen that. So just subscribe, automatically you will get the YouTube links and you can listen to that and develop your skills in AI tools. So these tools will help you to, enhance your research skills, to publish lot of articles. And, we have our own targets. So this is on one thing. And then you keep on worrying, I'm not able to do the research and the funding, part. Yes, it will come automatically. 5 or 10 different, funding programs, proposals, if you file, then at least one you may get through. That is how we have got, this is the first time we have got 6 KSCSTs projects and one funding research for the Atal FDP. And, you have to keep on thinking through how best you can do, then one fine day it will happen. So I also would like to, give you the current statistics. If you see, 82%, this is yesterday's statistics, 82% of the higher education institutions in India is now including soft skills and personality development modules in all the faculty training development programs. The source is actually UGC quarterly review, Q2 journal. It has been published 2025. Okay. And 68% of the B schools in India reported better student engagement and faculty performance due to the workshops on emotional intelligence and communication. And a CBSE-backed FDP, if you see, which is conducted in May month, recently in 2025, reported a 45% increase in teacher confidence, post-training, and on the personality group. Over 3 lakh teachers participating in India's mega parent-teachers meeting in July 2025 that emphasized teacher empathy and communication. So understand how you would like to communicate to all your stakeholders. And NIRF ranking, if you see, 2025 rankings now include a qualitative index for faculty motivation and on the leadership style for higher educational institutions. So be slim, no fat. Slim is have your own self-confidence, love each other, and take the initiative in doing any task which has come across, and have a moderation of your attitudes in whatever that we do. Okay. And let us watch our words and actions and thoughts, because those become our actions and that becomes our destiny. So to conclude, I would like to conclude on things that enhance your personality is, do not compare your life at all. Your life is completely different from that of others. So what is that, you are looking out for? Personality development, when we talk about what is it am I looking out for? Is it the commitment? Is it the integrity? It is the ethical values. Please think through all that and don't waste your precious energy on grapevine or and dream while you're awake than you are asleep. So thank you so much for your valuable time. Any questions are there? I would like to take up the questions. Yes, ma'am. Lakshmi, ma'am.